Yeah, this is important to know because this will impact your morning commute all throughout the day and also for your evening commute. They came outside and this is what they saw. All the damage inside their home. You even take a look up and the roof is completely gone. You'll notice around 10 p.m. we're still quiet by us, but we have some isolated supercells that will start to develop in the eastern portion of Oklahoma. They'll start to strengthen even more and start to form a line, and that'll likely reach us right around midnight and really rush through the area. I've seen a lot of roads closed too. I actually traveled down one of the roads where you can see it's pretty much completely flooded behind me. This is what it's going to be feeling like it's almost in the single digits. We're actually seeing some purple showing up on the map. Hey, let's take a look at this right here. This is Siloam Springs. That is awesome. You're seeing a little bit of some snow that is starting to accumulate. So the rest of today, we're good to go. But starting tomorrow morning for your morning commute, that's when things start to get a little bit messy. You would see the two tracks right behind me right here. Notice how one's a little bit shorter and one's actually 31.4 miles. The areas that I'm watching for any type of storms that could become severe or will have some more gustier winds is actually going to be along I-40 and a little bit further south. There's very minor accumulation, but it's wet enough that you could actually build a very tiny snowball. I want to show you some of this accumulation on the car right here. As the winds wrap around this really massive system, we're seeing some northerly winds, and that's really going to help us cool down even more.
And the weather for it's going to be pretty nice too.
It will be, but can we go back to that dog story for a second? Those dogs look so cute in their costumes. I love when people dress up their dogs.
You said you were just about to get a dog, right?
I'm thinking about it. I'll keep everyone tuned on that. It's going to be rainy and the temperatures to start the day aren't that bad either. But we are watching a cold front that'll move through the area later today. So the temperatures will be warm all ahead of that. As it moves closer, that's when our rain chances really increase. Once this cold front officially pushes out of the area, we will see some cooler weather and also some cloudy weather on Monday. But don't put away the rain gear just yet because you'll still need it for Tuesday and Wednesday. But take a look at some of these sunrises across the area. Aren't they just absolutely beautiful? You'll notice a lot of these really bright colors right along the horizon and a few of these higher clouds. The cloud cover eventually will increase as we go throughout the day. The thing is, you look outside right now, you think, wow, it's such a great day outside. But the cloud cover is increasing and the rain chances are also increasing for the afternoon and especially into the evening and overnight. You take a look at satellite and radar right now, nothing's really going on. We just have a few clouds outside. But I am watching a cold front that's actually way off towards our west. Eventually it'll trek into the area, and right along that cold front is where we're expecting some of the heaviest rain. But ahead of this cold front, our temperatures are really on the rise. We have some very strong southerly winds, also making it breezy outside, but it's really increased our temperatures quite a bit, which is why this February morning, we are waking up to temperatures right around 50 degrees in both northwest Arkansas and in the River Valley. That means by this afternoon, our temperatures will be even warmer. Northwest Arkansas highs will be in the upper 50s, and in the afternoon is when we'll see some of these light scattered rain chances. It'll really start to increase into the evening hours right around dinner time. River Valley will see the rain right after northwest Arkansas. But those temperatures for this afternoon will be fairly warm, right around 60. And because these temperatures are increasing so much, that's where we'll see a little bit more of some of those isolated storm chances. Nothing will be severe, but you could hear a few rumbles of thunder south of I-40, especially later part of the day. Let's go through our futurecast though. Let's walk through this where we're starting this right around 8 a.m. today. Most of the morning, we're fairly dry. By the time we get to late morning around lunchtime, you could see a few very light rain showers. It's not going to be much. In the afternoon, that's when it becomes a little bit more widespread. Notice though, right around 6 p.m., this line right here where we see some heavier pockets, this is the cold front. It's going to be reaching northwest Arkansas, and that's where the heaviest rain will be. Even as we go into the later part of the evening, around 10 p.m. is when it reaches the River Valley. And again, like I mentioned, south of I-40 is when we could get a little bit of some stronger storms, some rumbles of thunder you might be hearing, some heavier pockets of rain, also some very small hail as possible. This will continue overnight, early part of the morning. You might get a little bit of some rain, but it really clears out for tomorrow morning on your Monday. The other part with this system is the cold air behind it. Notice as we go throughout the day, these temperatures rise to around 60 degrees, and this line right here, the color difference, that's when the cold air really filters in. So by tomorrow morning, we're waking up to temperatures that'll be in the 30s. So it'll be cold outside for a lot of folks for tomorrow morning. Quite the difference from this afternoon. First part of the day, though, if you do have any plans for this Sunday morning, you should be good to go, but you will need that rain gear for the second part of the day, especially late afternoon into the evening hours, even for a little bit of your Monday morning if you're headed out early. But like I mentioned, don't put away the rain gear just yet because you'll still need it for Tuesday and Wednesday. So a little bit of a soggy first part of the week. Second
Right.
half, though, you look at that. Temperatures around 50, sunny.
It's time for this week's Science with Sabrina, presented by Sylvan Learning.
The heat is dangerous and it affects everyone differently. But if you're outside wearing a dark colored shirt, you're going to get hotter faster. So for this week's lesson, we're learning how colors absorb the heat, but we are having a little fun with it and using crayons since the kids are headed back to school. I glued different colored crayons on this board and I'm going to place it in direct sunlight. According to Crayola, crayons begin to soften at 105 degrees Fahrenheit and will melt between 120 and 147. The real science happens when the sun's rays beat down on the crayons. The crayon colors either absorb or reflect the light from the sun. Within an hour, the crayons begin to soften, and around 2.5 hours later, the darkest colors begin to drip. Here's what it looks like after 4 hours. The darkest colors melted, while the lighter colors aren't even soft. Now, let's get into the science of it. This experiment has a lot to do with physics. Different colors have different wavelengths, and each wavelength absorbs or reflects light differently. A black colored crayon will absorb all of the wavelengths and convert it into heat. The result is a crayon that starts to warm, or in our case, it actually melts. Now, a white colored crayon reflects all of these wavelengths and it doesn't convert into heat. The temperature really doesn't change much. Now, any of the colored crayons between white or black will either reflect or absorb the light differently. That also means that the heat is converted differently. That's why there's the common saying to wear light colored clothes in the summertime. That's it for this week's lesson. Learning about science where you live, I'm 5 News meteorologist Sabrina Bates.